What's going on, everybody? This is Nick Lawson from Squad Sports. We're really excited to be supporting the Free Agent Friday series. A lot of great talent out there. Without further ado, this is the next free agent you should be signing with your sports team.
All right, we're back for another Free Agent Friday, and today I've got Kevin Oberding. Thanks for joining me, Kevin.
Thanks for having me, and really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, let's dive in. Let's start off. Share with us where you went to school and your degree and any internships that you were working on while you were in school.
Yeah, I went to the University of Oregon, go Ducks, out here in Eugene. I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. And I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Sports Business, went through the Warsaw Sports Business School there. Always had a huge passion for sports. So growing up in Oregon and seeing that they had that program, it was just a nice, easy, marriage, if you will, to go there. And there's a couple other reasons I went to Oregon, which we'll probably get into, but graduated in 2010 and shortly after did a couple internships with television news stations, KVAL down in Los Angeles, which is the CBS affiliate. Did that for about a little under a year, and then came back with my senior year in college, remained as an intern, but at the CBS affiliate of the Eugene station, kind of working on Friday Night Football highlights and, all of that kind of good stuff.
So when did you decide you want to be in sports?
Oh, geez. Before I was born, maybe.
So you've just been, did you play sports as well?
I did. I ever since I can remember, I had a ball and was running around and trying to play something. And, I kind of was one of those where I probably wanted to be great at everything instead of really focusing on something. And as I got older into high school, kind of weighing down. And I ended up walking on to the University of Oregon football team. And I was on the football team there for 3 years, from 2006 to 2009. So that was another reason that, it just kind of worked out to go to Oregon. And, I think in my mind for a long time, that little kid that wanted to be the professional athlete, I was still there until, I was 22, graduated and said, man, I just can't keep up anymore. So unfortunately, no more for me.
It's a tough one. So what position did you play?
I was a wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah. So I probably didn't have the height, but fast hands, just, all good. Try to do a little bit of everything.
Nice. Oh, that's great. So that got you kind of, thinking about it. Did you have kind of like a specific area in sports that you were interested in working? Like as far as, you were a little bit in the radio and TV and, media.
Yeah. As I was getting older and getting into sports, I'd be lying if I didn't look at like a Stuart Scott and say, that's what I want to do.
Right.
When I was in high school, I said, you wouldn't even have to pay me to be that. I wouldn't even have to get paid for a job to be a Sports Center anchor. And when I went down to Los Angeles, I think that was, my thought. I was going to knock on ESPN's door and be like, hey, I'm your next anchor. This is me. You should definitely hire me. And of course, me and a billion other people wanted to do that. And I think working on the business side of sports and not necessarily the media side of sports was always something that was really exciting to me. And as I learned a little bit more about it, it's really a pathway you wanted to choose, wanting to be like, a general manager and think about trades that I talk with my friends and things like that. But obviously not necessarily being able to do that, but working on the business side of things and the marketing side of things, coming up with ideas. And if it can be ideas around the world of sports, that would just be, amazing.
So what's your goal for your next position? What kind of department are you looking to be in?
I came off from the corporate partnerships, which we'll probably talk about with the Portland Trailblazers. And I really enjoyed that. In the marketing aspect on the activation side. Ultimately, I look at myself as an idea guy. I love coming up with ideas. And, whether that's ideas for commercials, ideas for slogans, ideas for timeout promotions, ideas for community activations, that's what really gets me going. And that's what really gets me excited, especially about working in sports. So whether it's a client or a team or anything like that, coming up with the ideas and kind of brainstorming those things from just an idea in your head to actually seeing it execute in the real world. That's ultimately what I'd like to do. So whether that falls into a marketing category specifically or corporate partnerships, working with clients, or really anything behind like a brand, if you're talking working at like a Nike or Adidas type sort of thing.
So what would be your dream job though?
My dream job, in the moment is probably working on the brand side for either a team or a sports firm like a Nike or Adidas, being able to come up with ideas.
Wait a minute. How can you say Nike and Adidas when you're out in Oregon and all that?
Well,
That's
they're
kind of
both
like,
here.
I feel like it's betraying them a little bit. What is going on?
It is a little bit. I mean, you have, your.
Does that hurt to say when you've gone there?
On the others. Yeah, and one of the things, the Trailblazers, we got to work with both of them. They were both a corporate partner, so you kind of deal with them. And it's interesting to hear them talk about, they're not competitors with each other, but maybe Under Armour is the one that they just want to both beat that. So, really looking at that kind of maybe on the brand side or a brand side of a team is really what my goal is.
So, tell me about what you started doing after school after you graduated.
I know we only have a few minutes here, so I'll try to make it as quick as possible. So I went down to Los Angeles to go after a few things, and kind of was a weird time in the world in 2010, and I kind of fell into a little bit the world of TV production. A great thing about down Los Angeles, with there being a million shows and TV production, is you can kind of start at the bottom and really understand where you want to spread your wings. And I was an idea guy, so being a producer ended up being what I was really attracted to. And I ended up working on 53 or 54 shows in 7 years.
Wow,
and,
sweet.
Moved up and weirdly fell into the food niche. I worked for the Food Network for a long time.
Okay.
I came up with my own shows. I showed shows. I worked on reality TV, some great, some not so great, in that world. But I always knew that, I grew up in Portland and really wanted to come back here and, really work in sports. And so, I used all the skills and abilities that I came up with down there, and took them towards a team. I mean, pitching to a big network, a TV show is kind of the same as pitching a partnership to a, company for the Blazers.
Right. So when you were with the Blazers, what was kind of your responsibility there?
So I was a partnership marketing manager. So I worked on the activation side. So I controlled a book of business between 13 and 20 of our partnership clients, ranging from 100 or so K a year upwards of over $1 million, and really came up with ideas and then execution of all of their sponsorships. So whether that be TV commercials or radio production on the media side, timeout promotions, community activations, promoted social media, whatever, we would come up with in their package. I was the guy that kind of made that story on paper come to life.
Anything that you are most proud of that you worked on there?
I'll say a couple things because, Adidas was one of my big partners there, and one of their signature athletes is Damian Lillard on the Trailblazers. And so each year I worked with them on the shoe launch, his signature shoe launch. And so really working with those guys and kind of getting to see the inwards and outwards of Adidas and Damian's shoe, and then bringing that to my hometown team, and then just bursting out these takeover nights. That was something that was so cool to me, and kind of see the evolution from the Dame 4 is what I started on, and to the last one, which was the Dame 7, seeing the evolution of his shoe and kind of how it impacted the community. And then of course his career was just awesome. And then the other one that was really proud of was the Oregon Lottery. Started sports betting for it came back this last year, and I was kind of in charge of how are we going to promote their new scoreboard app and sports betting that's kind of come back. And that one was really kind of, I don't want to say molding two passions to sound like, I'm very super passionate about gambling, but seeing this new thing, this new app in this digital world in sports gaming was really cool. And I was really proud of what we came up with and executed.
What are some of your biggest assets or skills that you're going to bring to the next position?
I would say one of the biggest ones is passion. You can probably hear it in my voice. I love sports. I love ideas, and I love making things happen. It is just what I do. It's what gets me out of bed in the morning, and it's what makes a job not a job to me. It's something that I'm really passionate about. I love to go for it as hard as I possibly can. And then the second thing I would say, another big one, is problem solving. In reality TV, nothing ever goes right. In sports, not a lot of things often go right. You kind of have to think on your feet and come up with these solutions in the moment. And that really, drives me as well.
What are the biggest areas that you need to work on, you think?
I hate to give up on things. And so when I have an idea and I want to see it through and there are road bumps in the way, You know, a lot of times you should probably punt on those type of things and say, okay, we should start over or go into different directions. I tend to be a little bit stubborn in that way and say, no, we need to see this through. I know if we get through these hard points, we'll see that light at the end of the tunnel. So that's probably, you know, a good thing and a bad thing, because a lot of times we do make it through and it's great. But there are those times when you say, you know, man, if hindsight's 2020, we probably should have punted on that.
Yeah, it's easy to look back, though. It definitely is always easier to look back. You know, it's good to take a little risk every now and then, calculate it as much as possible. So, how do you define success?
Oh, wow. Seeing something in action. You know, I define success as whether an idea fails or succeeds, as long as it went past the finish line. To me, that's success, because you can always learn from it. So even if it was a failed idea, it was successful that we executed it, and we can learn from it, and then execute it even better the next time.
Yeah, no, definitely. How about in your next position? Are you open to relocating? Are you stuck where you're at there? Tell us about that.
You know, I wish I could say I was open to relocating. You know, coming back to Portland, I do love it here. Maybe too much information. My wife is and I are currently expecting, and it would be tough.
Oh, congrats!
And go somewhere. So
is that the first child or
first child? So
oh, nice.
You know, and the parents and everything are here. So you know, knowing that the Trailblazers unfortunately didn't work out, but knowing that we have the Nike, Adidas, Columbia Sportswear, Under Armour of the world, a lot of different Portland Timbers, a lot of things here.
Right.
We'd love to keep it in the Northwest.
Yeah, there's still a lot of opportunity there. And I'm sure there's some agencies as well, you know, that would love someone like yourself with that experience. You know, what kind of separates you from someone else, you know, on any of these upcoming jobs?
You know, it's one of those where you have to probably see it in action, but I'm just going to say, you know, the work ethic. You know, being an athlete and taking that athlete mentality into the workplace. I'm going to keep going. I bring that. It doesn't stop. Hard work to me is the main work. In LA, we had 16, 20-hour days on the regular. And I remember coming up to Portland and people would be like, oh, you know, we have long nights. You got to work game nights. And I was like, yeah, till like 9. Like this is not long, guys.
Yeah,
so really, it's just going to be that work ethic and that go-getter. Yeah. You know, attitude that never say die. So
what's a fun fact about you?
You know, I grew up in the country a little bit. Dad's an engineer, and I kind of ran away from that, but kind of got that gene. You know, I love woodworking. I build a lot of things. It's kind of what I do in my free time. That's not, you know, working out or doing sports. But I love woodworking, and as creative as I am with my mind, I'm not with a pencil, so I can't draw.
Right.
But I love to kind of create projects, whether it's building furniture or, you know, tables or, you know, anything like that.
What's your favorite piece that you've built?
Ooh, that's, you know, my wife would say our dining room table. I did one of those epoxy river tables.
Okay.
So we got two big giant kind of like the birch trees and put them on either side and did like a blue river of epoxy down the middle. And it was
nice.
Turned out pretty awesome. So now granted, it's only the two of us for now, and it's like a 12-person table. So as we grow our family, it'll be great.
Hey, you know, you're starting with the one, and let me tell you, the kids grow up quick. I mean, my first child is now 23. She just turned 23 last week. I'm 41. I got started real young, but yeah, they grow up fast, so enjoy it. My youngest now is 16.
Oh wow! So, no, we're very excited. So
when's the due date?
Not till January. So,
okay, so you got some time.
Yeah, we got some time.
Well, good. Well, good luck to you, man. I can definitely hear the passion, and I know you're going to be an asset, you know, wherever you land. So hopefully we can help a little bit, and keep in touch. Let me know how I can help out.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, and keep holding it down over on your coast. I know we're a long way away, but these Zoom meetings help.
Oh yeah, it's great.